and the Heartstone of Auralith. In the mystical realm of Auralith, where silver rivers curved like ribbons through emerald valleys, and the air shimmered faintly with magic, lived a young discoverer named Orion. Orion was no ordinary boy. With an insatiable curiosity and a heart brimming with courage, he roamed far beyond the borders of his village, mapping secret trails, collecting curious trinkets, and dreaming of adventures grand enough to fill the pages of 100 storybooks. One crisp morning, as the first rays of sunlight spilled over the verdant meadows, Orion stumbled upon an unusual sight, a dragon. Her scales, which should have gleamed like molten gold, were dulled to the color of ash. She lay bound by a glowing tether of runes that pulsed faintly against her will. Cautiously, Orion approached. "Who are you, and why have you been bound?" he asked, his voice steady but filled with awe. The dragon lifted her head, her amber eyes tired yet fierce. "I am Ember," she said, her voice like the crackle of a distant fire. "I once guarded the magic of this realm, but an evil sorcerer named Malakar stole my power and bound me here. He seeks the Heartstone of Auralith, the very essence of our world's magic. If he claims it, all life here will wither." Orion's heart pounded. This was no bedtime tale. This was real. Without hesitation, he knelt and began unraveling the magical tether. "Then you will have my help," he said simply. With the last rune undone, the chains dissolved into mist. Ember stretched her wings, though they trembled with weakness. "To stop Malakar, we must recover the 3 lost artifacts that hold pieces of my magic," she said. "Only then will I be strong enough to face him." Their journey began in the enchanted forest, where the trees whispered secrets and glowing moths drifted like living lanterns. Orion and Ember followed a trail of carved stones that revealed riddles when touched. The first artifact, the Moonfire Pendant, lay hidden in the hollow of a tree, guarded by a creature made of roots and moss. Orion distracted it with clever misdirection, while Ember, even in her weakened state, darted in to seize the pendant. With the moonfire's glow, a faint shimmer returned to Ember's scales. Next, they traveled across the shattered peaks, where winds howled like ancient spirits. High atop a cliff, they found the second artifact, the Stormcaller's gem, encased in ice harder than steel. Orion's quick thinking led him to reflect the sun's light with his silver compass, melting the ice just enough for Ember to shatter it with a strike of her tail. Her wings gained strength, and she could now lift them into short glides. But Malakar had been watching. His shadow fell across the land, sending whispers of fear ahead of him. He moved swiftly toward the final artifact, the Phoenix Crown, hidden deep within the Cavern of Echoes. Inside the cavern, every sound multiplied into 1,000 voices. Labyrinthine passages twisted in on themselves, confusing even the keen-eyed dragon. But Orion remembered the riddles from the forest stones and followed their clues, leading them to a hidden chamber where the Phoenix Crown rested upon a pedestal of obsidian. The moment Ember placed the crown upon her head, her full magic surged back into her body. Her scales blazed like molten gold, her eyes burned with fierce light, and her wings spread wide in radiant power. And they had no time to rest. Malakar arrived at the Heartstone chamber, a vast hall lit by the pulsating glow of the Heartstone itself. The air crackled with magic, shadows twisting into monstrous shapes at his command. The battle erupted in an instant. Orion darted between columns, distracting Malakar's minions, while Ember unleashed waves of fire and light. But Malakar's power was formidable, and the ground trembled under his spells. At the height of the clash, Malakar lunged for the Heartstone. Orion, with a burst of courage, leapt forward and drove his compass into the runes, powering Malakar's staff, shattering its magic. Ember zeitzed the moment, releasing a roar that shook the very walls, and sent a blazing torrent of fire straight at Malakar, banishing him and his minions back into the shadows. When the dust settled, the Heartstone shone brighter than ever, and the realm of Auralith seemed to breathe again. The forests flourished, rivers sang, and the skies cleared. Ember, her power fully restored, became the guardian of the realm once more. Orion returned to his village, carrying stories of bravery, magic, and friendship, tales that would be told for generations. And though his journey with Ember had ended, the bond they had forged would remain unbroken, a living reminder that even the smallest spark of courage can light the path through the darkest of trials.